I'm going to move really as quickly as I can through how I cut the bullshit out of U.S. companies to find the board that's perfect for Matt.
All right, I like it. Okay.
All right.
Very egotistical. Good. Go.
I want to be on a board, but number one, I have to get on the board. Like I have to
Sure.
actually get on it.
That helps. Yeah.
Number two, I have to get paid because
Yep.
I'm a
Three
capitalist.
kids.
Give me
Yep.
money now.
Yep.
Number three, I have to stay on the board,
Yeah,
right?
you're lazy. I get it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, what's the point of getting on a board if I get kicked out immediately?
True.
Number four, I really don't want to work.
No. You got no.
I'm a
You
busy
got
man.
shows to
I got
produce.
other things to do. I don't want to work that hard.
Yep.
Okay. So my universe that I started with is 2,400 US publicly traded companies.
Okay.
Very simple, gigantic universe. But I figure there's got to be a board in there somewhere for me. This is where I started yesterday. And now I'm going to make some really tactical, smart cuts to figure out what the board is. The first cut I'm going to make is no controlled companies and mostly independent boards.
Okay. You want to explain that? Controlled companies. So
Controlled
single
companies.
shareholder
So
that
I
owns,
realized yesterday
Yeah.
I was looking at all these companies with dominant shareholders and all this kind of stuff. But I realized a controlled company has like one shareholder, like Mark Zuckerberg, who basically runs the whole thing.
a dictator. Yeah.
A dictator. And I do not want to kiss one dude's ass.
No.
I don't.
It's not pleasant.
And the boards have to be mostly independent, quote unquote, because if they're just full of management people, like say, Zuckerberg just put Facebook employees on his board, that would be problematic because then I'd have to go work at the company for years before I could get on the board. I don't want to work. That was number 4 on my list of things.
Yeah.
Right?
I got you.
So my first cut, surprisingly, actually cuts the universe almost in half, from 2,400 companies to 1,100 companies.
Okay.
I don't know if that's happy or sad, but it was a quick way to get down by half.
Okay.
I'm going to make another cut here. This gets more complicated. I don't know if you can tell by listening to my voice and or seeing my face.
Yeah.
I am a white 40-something privilegey kind of guy. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, good for you.
What are the chances that I'm going to get on a board where they care about diversity? I mean, pretty low, honestly.
Well, there are boards that care about diversity? This is news to me. Yeah, okay.
So the second thing I did was I tried to find boards with less women on them and more white people on them.
Okay, it sounds like you're describing boards.
Well, it turns out I am. So when I cut out, so what I did was I used U.S. population data with first names and it's a probability that those people are white based on the U.S. population. And then what we know about the gender of makeup of boards, because that data actually exists. If you could see a chart of this, basically, like on average, 90% of boards are probably white, and about 20%, 22-ish% of boards in the U.S. are going to be women. So it's actually not a great cut for me. Like, this was way too easy.
Yeah.
So I had to make it a little bit more stringent, and I said, all right, 25% or less women, and 80% or more probably white. And I ended up getting from 1,100 companies to 97 companies.
Oh, wow.
Now we're getting workable. And it's mostly because
so
I just said 25% or more women. That just cut out a whole.
So
less women. That just cut out a whole bunch.
These are 97 of the whitest, broiest boards going, right?
This is what I'm going for.
All right. Keep
now
going.
I want to get paid. Number 3, cut. Get me paid. So I need high average non-executive awards and high average non-executive take home, basically realized pay. So basically what I'm saying is I have to exclude everybody who's on management, who's on the board, because they're not going to pay me like those people. They're just going to pay me like the independent board members. And then they're going to pay you. They award you something, and then you actually get some money. Those two things are often different. So really, really quickly, all I wanted to do here was understand, okay, which companies will both award me something and I'll get paid that something, and it'll be a lot, okay?
Yeah.
The first cut of this is like two companies basically stand out. A company called Skyworks and DuPont. And they stand out because they pay, on average, their non-executive board members a lot. But we'll get to a part where we get rid of them. So let's get rid of them quickly.
All right.
This is the cush life I need to lead.
Yeah.
I need at least $125,000 a year I'm awarded.
Yeah.
And I need actually to make $200,000 a year. I need that to sort of like buy options and stock.
Sure.
I have a lot of mouths to feed and boats to take care of. Okay.
Yeah. Only suckers like me just make cash at work, right? I mean, I think that's what you're saying.
Yes. I have boats I have to think about here. When you do this and you ignore DuPont and Skyworks, there's still a lot of companies here. There's a lot of companies that fit this criteria. Now, remember, these are well-paid, probably white, not so many women, mostly bro-y board members.
Okay.
But when I look at that, I can cut it down to 40 companies from 97 to 40. We're getting there. We're getting there.
We're over time, but we're getting there.
The next cut is actually staying on the board. Now I got these 40 companies, and if I get on one of those boards, I need to stay on, which means what I want is companies without many controversies, so no one pays attention to them, basically. They don't do a lot wrong. And I want them to have classified boards or long tenured members. Now, what that means is it's just really hard to change the board members once they're on.
Well, classified boards means that there are not annual elections. So you'll be voted on by shareholders once every 3 years, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm just going to, once I'm on, I'm on. Yeah. And I'm on there for probably a little while. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
This actually starts to get meaningful. Like I do this cut and we start to see Skyworks is still on there. So I'm looking at you, Skyworks. You can, I'm going to make some coin there and I could stay on. Now I'm down to 22 companies from my 40.
All right.
But I want to do one more cut.
Sure.
Last one. Because I don't want to work.
No.
How am I not going to work? I want to go somewhere where absenteeism is totally cool. I don't. Or the company is so oversized they won't notice me. Or there are so many board members they won't. The board members are so like on other boards that they won't notice when I'm there or not because they're so diverted. Their attention's diverted.
Back of the bus,
right?
Yeah.
So I can be the dude who sits at the back of the bus or doesn't show up at all. Either one of those is cool with me.
All right.
When I do this, my cut is down to 16 companies.
Wow, I can't believe there are actually 16 companies like this. But this
is
another story.
A monstrous amount of cutting to whittle it down to these 16. Now, can you guess the types of companies that I'm going to be looking at here?
Well, I honestly, from what you've told me, it'll be very white, macho, lazy kind of guy. Guy's guy, right? Right?
So no one ever described me that way, first of all. But I'm going to go for that because
that's what you're explaining.
The number one company is actually the number 1, 2, 3-ish companies are utility gas companies, including Eaton Corporation, Exelon, Hess. But mixed in here, now this is a to be continued for tomorrow because the next thing I need to do is dig into each of these companies and figure out which ones I actually want to target specifically. Because mixed in here is everybody's favorite tractor company, Deere, is Black & Decker.
That's what I was describing.
I use Black & Decker. Yep. It's waste management. I'm Italian. I fit a stereotype.
Yep.
So next up, tomorrow, to be continued. Get me a board seat.